What if I said that tough times aren't your punishment? They're your preparation. That every struggle, every disappointment, every lonely night where you wonder why you are not good enough, isn't shattering you, but strengthening you. We're living in a world that celebrates convenience, easy success, easy joy. We want the rewards without the struggle, the victory without the battle. But the Stoics, they knew something more profound. They knew that true strength doesn't come from what you are given. It comes from what you persevere. Marcus Aurelius penned. The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. He was betrayed, fought war, lost, and yet continued to rule with tranquil power. For he knew this: pain is the forge of greatness. Most pray for simpler lives. Stoics prayed for more robust minds. They didn't flee the storm. They exercised in it. They didn't ask to escape. They asked to endure, because every challenge conceals a lesson. Every defeat conceals a strength you didn't realize you possessed, and the truth: no one ever got strong in easy times. It is only when life knocks you around, when everything crumbles, that you find out what you are made of. The world will do its best to make you think that suffering is unjust, that pain is something to be escaped. But the Stoic did not think that way. The Stoic believed that discomfort is not the enemy, it is the instructor. It takes away delusions, shows weakness, and compels expansion. So when you are standing in the fire, when you are exhausted, when you are angry, when you are shattered, don't wonder, "Why me?" Wonder, "What is this shaping in me?" Because strength never comes from ease. It comes in turmoil, shaped in agony, and proven in silence. Difficult times aren't punishment. They're permission to come higher than you ever imagined. Every man desires to be strong, but not many are prepared to pay the cost. They desire wisdom without perplexity, courage without terror, endurance without agony. But it doesn't work that way. The Stoics understood that nothing great is constructed without opposition. As fire temperates steel, adversity temperates the spirit. When Seneca was banished, stripped of fortune and rank, he didn't break. He composed his best works. When Epictetus was enslaved, beaten, and broken, he discovered freedom within his own mind. They all endured storms that would have destroyed them, and instead, those storms immortalized them. You don't make yourself unbreakable by staying out of the fire. You make yourself unbreakable by going through it. Because power isn't about comfort, it is about control. Control of your reactions. Control of your thoughts. Control of your spirit when everything around you burns. Most folks today believe that strength is loud. They believe it is dominating, showing off, or winning. But strength is quiet. It is the man who can stand firm when all the things inside him want to run. It is the one who keeps working while no one applauds, who keeps believing when nothing makes sense. Pain reveals truth. When life takes away your distractions, your excuses, your safety nets, what remains is who you are. That is where you encounter your true self. Not the one you present to the world, but the one we create in quiet. Built by failure, made strong by loss. The Stoics didn't dread hard work. They prepared for it. They did voluntary hardship, fasting, sleeping on the floor, walking barefoot, not to suffer, but to train. Because when the world knocked them around with chaos, they were already prepared. Remember this: the same fire that burns weak men builds strong ones. The same storm that destroys shallow roots strengthens deep ones. And the same pain that breaks most people births leaders, warriors, thinkers, and survivors. The question is not if life will get hard. It's what you'll do when it does. Because in that fire, you're either consumed or transformed. Tough times don't merely test you. They expose the gap between who you are and who you might become. Most people fall into that gap. They define it as failure. But the Stoic sees something else. That gap is the training ground of transformation. Consider it. When everything is stripped away from you, comfort, commendation, certainty, what is left? Your discipline, your decisions, your will. That is where power starts. Marcus Aurelius did not compose his wisdom in opulence. He composed it amid death and sickness. Epictetus did not teach liberation from a throne. He discovered it in shackles. We learn to pursue comfort, but weakness comes from comfort. Every hero you've ever admired, every tale of mastery, of courage, of strength, was penned in adversity. No one expands in safety. You expand in the very moments that shatter you. When life is too much to handle, that is your cue. The ache you are experiencing now is the cost of the strength you are going to need later. The Stoics knew the pain was the gym for the soul. Repetition, resistance, exhaustion, all building to be stronger. Every struggle is a set, every failure a rep, every comeback a win. But too many people give up too soon. They leave the gym of life too quickly to ever experience the change. They flee from the very discomfort that could have developed them. They don't understand that suffering is not present to annihilate you. It is present to shape you, Seneca wrote. Fire tests gold, adversity tests the brave. That is not poetry, it is a law. Each test you encounter is an opportunity to choose power over panic, purpose over pity, strength over surrender. So when things feel too much to handle, remember, this is the weight that builds strength. This is the resistance that forges power. This is how you become formidable. Not by shying away from pain, but by embracing it. Because the truth is straightforward, hard times they make you sharp, they make you authentic, they make you prepared. Here is the bit everyone skips. Adversity doesn't necessarily make you strong. Adversity unmasks you. Adversity presents you with a choice, break or construct. The Stoics constructed. Marcus Aurelius might have been swept under by despair as the empire collapsed, but instead he made pain philosophy. He didn't write meditations to impress anyone else, but to stay sane. Each page is a man opting for strength, when weakness was more convenient, and that is the key. You don't become powerful by waiting for life to become less hard. You become powerful by taking charge of yourself when it is toughest. When you lose someone you love, when your plans fall apart, when all hope seems lost, you have a moment of truth. You can rant, "Why is this happening to me?" Or you can say, "This is where I learn who I am." That is the Stoic way. For chaos shall arrive. Humans will betray you. Dreams will perish. The world will challenge you repeatedly. But if you confront that chaos with tranquility, if you don't let your feelings pull you down, you'll rise as others fall. Epictetus taught, "It is not what happens to you, but how you react that matters." Those are words of wisdom until life knocks you down. Then you know, this is the true fight. Not against the world, but against yourself. Against your doubt, anger, fear. And when you emerge victorious in that fight, when you remain standing in the tempest, you come to see something profound. The tempest was never your foe. It was your preparation. It was sculpting the you who could endure more, accomplish more, be more. The Stoics did not flee adversity because they understood that each test was a teacher, each defeat, criticism, each hurt, preparation. The world does not owe you ease. It offers you obstacles, and in the manner in which you handle them, you determine your worth. The next time things get tough, don't seek escape. Seek perseverance. Don't curse the hurt. Learn from it. Because it is revealing to you precisely where your strength is waiting to be developed. What few see is that power really is constructed in silence, not in applause, nor recognition, but in the solitary slog when no one is looking. That is where Stoic resilience is forged. Marcus Aurelius didn't scream his wisdom to the masses. He wrote it softly to himself in the still of night, reminding his soul to remain unbroken, to remain centered, to recall what is important. The Stoics knew something contemporary life has forgotten. Noise does not equal advancement. Stillness does not equal weakness. When you endure in silence, when you persevere without approval, when you maintain your dignity in the face of adversity, that is when your character becomes steel. That is when you gain the type of strength nobody can ever rip from you. Because here is the thing. Hard times don't make you popular. Hard times make you focused. When the world doesn't hear you, that is when you discover your purpose. When the distraction dies down, your mind becomes razor sharp. When comfort is lost, your discipline emerges. Seneca wrote, "Difficulties strengthen the mind as labor does the body." Every struggle is your training ground. Every unspoken battle is evidence you are standing. You don't have to proclaim your strength. You have to embody it. Don't underestimate the quiet man. The man who doesn't react, doesn't whine, doesn't demand sympathy. He is deadly because he has built his power where no one can see it. He has been shattered and reconstructed, scarred and fortified. His serenity is not weakness. It is control. When you get to that place, when life slings pain in your direction and you feel nothing but intensity, that is when you've transitioned from surviving to prevailing. That is when you know the world can't harm you anymore, because everything the world could shatter in you already did, and here you still are. Then stop fleeing the battle. Stop yearning for approval. Practice in solitude. Suffer silently. Conquer yourself. For those who suffer quietly, they're the ones who march through storms as if born to do it. Ultimately, you learn something the weak never do. That bad times are not curses. They're gifts in disguise. Every loss sculpted your patience. Every failure tempered your mind. Every heartache pushed you to stand on your own 2 feet. The pain you pleaded to escape ended up being the very source of your strength. Marcus Aurelius was confronted with plagues, treason, perpetual war, and he wrote, "A blazing fire makes flame and brightness out of everything that is thrown into it." That is what true power is. The power to convert chaos into clarity, to convert pain into purpose, to convert every wound into wisdom. You can't phony it. You can't purchase it. You can't tweet it. You can only attain it through nights of doubt, through mornings of discipline, through the decision to endure more than escape. That is what makes ordinary unbreakable. The Stoics understood that a person is not strong based on what he can lift, but based on what he can carry within him and not break. It is how serene you remain when the world is trembling. It is how you hold on to your principles when everything else is collapsing. Hard times will always arrive. They're part of the rhythm of life. But each time you encounter one, recall this: it is not trying to kill you. It is attempting to bring you face with your better self. The one who doesn't get anxious, who doesn't complain, who doesn't quit. The one who doesn't simply survive. He flourishes. So when the world is weighing on you, don't swear at it, accept it. Because while other people break under the weight, you'll rise above it. You'll be the peace in the war, the power in the struggle, the fire that doesn't go out when the darkness is greatest, but illuminates even more. Difficult times bring real strength, but only to those with the courage to stand through them. Be that individual, stand tall. The world needs you strong.